Hey there everyone, welcome to another Route 24 video. Hope we're all doing well. This week, Dissidia NT came out in Japan, so I've gotten the chance to sit down and check out a bit of the game, and I kind of wanted to give you like my initial thoughts and impressions. Now, to be honest, I am coming into this 100% as a Dissidia noob. I've never played the PSP games, and my experience with the arcade version, from which NT is actually based on, is limited to a single match during the location test at like my local arcade a while back. Now, I feel like that could either help me kind of be unbiased with my first impressions, or, you know, it could cause me to miss out on something that's really important in terms of gameplay or anything like that. So, if you're watching this and you feel like I'm really missing something, go ahead, let me know in the comments or something like that. Now, when I think of Final Fantasy, the first things that come to mind are easily the characters within each game, and considering this is a fighting game featuring the main characters from each installment, even the online ones, which is kind of amazing. You know, obviously, a lot of people are pretty fond of these characters as well. Now, there's something really cool about seeing all your favorite characters on screen all at the same time, which is probably also why Smash Bros is so well loved. And I guess in a sense, Dissidia succeeds in the same way that Smash Bros does. It totally takes what's great about the series as a whole, and it puts them into a single game. What Dissidia does well is also what I think many people love about the Final Fantasy series, just in general. Art direction looks great, stages are fun to look at, and for sure the music is spot on. There's something really cool, something really amazing about seeing characters from older sprite-based games, or even the PlayStation ones, and they're just fully rendered and really detailed. Personally, for me, the music is probably way up there on what makes this game great. Aside from having probably all of your favorite tracks, the arranged versions for the game are extremely well done. They sound great. Now, if you're like me and you've never played Dissidia before, the game has a pretty basic tutorial that the game will start off asking you if you want to look at. You can also just go ahead and select it from the main menu if you need to brush up on something. If you're thinking of picking this game up and expecting to be able to just dive right into some insane story that somehow justifies how these characters are fighting each other, you might be a tad disappointed. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't have a story at all, because it does, but it's oddly gated by your player level. You see, each time you level up, you'll earn something called a Memoria, and that basically lets you unlock the next part of the story. Now, the only way to actually level up is to go and play some matches. I get that this is a fighting game, and not many people pick up fighting games only for the story, but I feel like things are a bit different when the series in question is Final Fantasy. You know, one of the biggest names in story-based role-playing games. I'm sure there are, you know, even just a few people who just want to sit down and kind of let the story play itself out. So, if you want to see what's next, you're going to need to increase your player level, and pretty much the only way to do that, is to play some matches. I mean, it is a fighting game after all, so you were going to do that to begin with. So you have two options here. You can either go straight to online matches and level up by cutting your teeth against actual humans, or if you prefer to take it a bit easy, you can go and fight computer opponents. The only thing to note is that you can't level up by doing free battles. You will need to choose something called Rush Mode in order to level up, which is a bit like a multi-match, kind of a gauntlet, and you'll only get rewarded at the very end of your set of battles. I'm guessing that with all things considered, either online or offline, you'll probably end up spending around the same amount of time just to get your player levels high enough to see the whole story. Once you have a couple matches under your belt, you'll level up, and then with your Memoria in hand, then you can go back and advance the story. But other than seeing the story, you'll also be rewarded when you level up with some gil, like player and character customization options, and something called treasure crystals. But most importantly, you'll also get some more usable X skills and some more summons that you can use in battle. So how are the battles? Generally, they're only about a few minutes long, which is perfect if you only have a bit of time each day to dedicate to games. But it's also kind of dangerous, I feel, if you're the type of person to just say like one more. Fights are 3-on-3, so you have 6 characters running around, you know, and you have a bunch of like flashy attack animations, and then you have summons that are just coming and going, and it can get pretty hectic pretty fast. For new players, I feel like there's almost an overwhelming amount of things to pay attention to, and even just the HUD has, I feel like there's so much going on here. If you head over to the shop, you can spend your hard-earned gil on a selection of character customization options. You have like different outfits to look at. You can pick different weapons. There's different icons you can use for your player, and I think most exciting for me is there's a bunch of background music that you can get. The selection for the music is pretty big, so I'm pretty sure that everyone will have at least one or two of their favorite tracks just somewhere there. So about those treasure crystals, you'll get these as you level up, and you can go to this menu above the shop and you can open them from here. Every time you open one, you'll get a random selection of items, either icons, character customization items, or music. And yes, these are pretty much loot boxes. The good news is that if you can't seem to get what you want, you can always just save up your gil and just pick it up in the shop. And more or less, that's it. That's Dissidia. The game it's a fighting game, just kind of wrapped up in what people love about Final Fantasy. Again, I didn't play the earlier ones on PSP, so for me, this is my first taste of Dissidia. The game certainly has great presentation, and it's pretty easy to get caught up in that kind of one more match kind of feeling, especially if you're playing online. If you were already a fan of Final Fantasy, you'll find a lot you'll like about this, as long as you don't absolutely hate the gameplay. If you're not a fan, well, probably most of the fan service magic might be lost on you, but it still might be possible to find something that you like. Anyhow, that's it for now, so if you like this video, you can let me know by leaving a comment, or actually just liking the video, I guess. Feel free to share it with a friend if you have a friend who might be into this kind of stuff, and hey, since you're already here, why not check out some of my other stuff? Actually, if you just click on the channel name, you'll just be taken to an entire page full of them. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like. I'll put a link to my profile down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.